while Syrian leader al-Julani visits Saudi Arabia, and much more on this packed Monday morning bulletin. But first, the headlines. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrives in Washington to meet President Donald Trump, hopes to quote-unquote redraw Middle East. Canada, Mexico and China vow to respond to sweeping new Trump tariffs set to take effect Tuesday. Fears of all-out trade war looms. According to report, Trump has also said EU tariffs will happen and UK is out of line, but deal can be worked out. Asia-Pacific markets slide after Trump's sweeping tariffs. Dollar rises on US plans to impose tariffs. UK PM Sir Keir Starmer forced to scrap personal email accounts after security services probe suspected Russian hack. Former PM Liz Truss was also said to have had her phone hacked while she was Foreign Secretary. And India batter Abhishek Sharma blazes a 37-ball 100 as the men in blue pile on runs to beat England by 150 runs in the final match of the T20I series. Well, a big story this morning. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reached the US. He landed at Maryland's Andrews Air Force Base on Sunday ahead of his meeting with US President Donald Trump on Tuesday. He was then welcomed at the Blair House in Washington on Sunday evening ahead of his important Tuesday meeting. It's a very important meeting, the Israeli Prime Minister told reporters before takeoff. Listen in. Well, Netanyahu said he would discuss with the president Israel's war against Hamas, the release of all the hostages, and the Iranian terror axis. His first high-level meeting will be on Monday with Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. For more on this, we're joined by David K. Johnston from New York. He's a professor of public policy at the Rochester Institute of Technology. Really appreciate you joining us, Professor. I'd like to begin by asking you the question on everyone's minds this morning, rather, with Netanyahu's heading to Washington to redraw the map of the Middle East. Do you think this is a case of striking while the iron is hot, or is he walking a tightrope, balancing internal and international pressures?
Well, he certainly has to balance the internal pressures. Remember, he's being tried right now for serious corruption charges. But very plainly, Netanyahu is hoping to get Donald Trump's backing so that he can push Palestinians out of Gaza and other parts of what historically was Palestine. He can resume using the 2,000-pound bombs that the Biden administration stopped sending to Israel because they were being used to attack hospitals and apartment buildings rather than any kind of military targets. But I think Netanyahu clearly sees here's an opportunity he's not likely to get again to achieve his goal of basically pushing Muslims and especially Palestinians out of territory he would like to be part of Israel, or at least totally under military control by Israel.
Professor, Netanyahu also faces mounting pressure from the far right, in fact, back home. Now, to restart the war, is this a case of one step forward and two steps back for Israel?
Yeah, I don't think this ceasefire will hold for very long, and maybe not as long as anticipated for exactly that reason. His coalition of very far-right people in Israel, whose sons, by the way, do not serve in the combat forces, is very fragile. And keeping that together is essential to his staying in power. There are a lot of us who view his efforts in Gaza to maintain his power and avoid the prospect of going to prison.
Thank you so much for that, Professor. We keep on tracking this story. Moving on, Canada, Mexico, and China have vowed to respond to sweeping new tariffs to their exports to the US announced by President Donald Trump. They're in fact set to take effect on Tuesday, that's tomorrow. Now, according to reports, Trump has also said EU tariffs will happen and the UK is out of line, but a deal could be worked out. My colleague Samia Afsar breaks down how the implementation of Trump's tariffs and the subsequent retaliation could mark the start of a new era of global trade wars. Take a look.
The tariff war has begun. As promised in his poll campaign, US President Donald Trump has signed an executive order slapping steep tariffs on imports from Mexico, Canada, and China. The move, which aims at curbing drug trafficking and illegal immigration, could also send shockwaves through the global economy. Donald Trump has imposed 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports and 10% on Chinese goods. If these tariffs remain in place, they could drive up inflation, hitting American consumer where it hurts the most, at the checkout line. Canada and Mexico have announced retaliatory tariffs, with outgoing Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau warning that US shoppers will soon feel the pinch.
Tonight, first, I want to speak directly to Americans, our closest friends and neighbors. This is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians, but beyond that, it will have real consequences for you, the American people. Unfortunately, the actions taken today by the White House split us apart instead of bringing us together.
Mexico isn't holding back either. It has also ordered retaliatory tariffs that could possibly range from 5 to 20% on pork, cheese, fresh produce, manufactured steel, and aluminum. Meanwhile, China has slammed Trump's move. Beijing has warned that there are no winners in a trade war and has vowed to take necessary countermeasures to protect its economy. With three major economies fighting back, Trump's tariffs are setting the stage for a full-blown trade war, one that could have far-reaching consequences for businesses, consumers, and the global market. Samia Afsar, NDTV World.
Now, former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Commerce Raymond Vickery joins us from Washington for more. Welcome to the show, sir. I'll get straight to it. With retaliatory tariffs already in motion, how likely is the situation to escalate into a prolonged trade war?
Well, good morning and thanks for having me. I think that this is a very unwise move. Where it ends, nobody knows, but it's a very, very bad first step. I think the idea that somehow tariffs can be used to bludgeon friend and foe alike into doing whatever it is that the president wants to do is absolutely ill-founded. We tried the business of walling off the United States during the Great Depression with something called the Smoot-Hawley tariffs. It made the situation worse economically, and that was at a time when there wasn't nearly as much international trade as there is now. I think it's particularly deplorable in regard to friends Canada and Mexico. Trump in his first term renegotiated NAFTA, so there would be integration on what he deemed to be even a fairer perspective. And now he has basically destroyed that arrangement. The history of the world is that widening markets where people play by the rules increases the prosperity for everyone. I think that this is going to raise the prices for American consumers. The president said that he would do away with inflation. Of course, he's already broken a number of promises that he would end the Ukraine war, and all sorts of good things would happen economically. I think it's particularly deplorable the impact this has on friends like India. The fact is that when Prime Minister Modi comes to the United States, Donald Trump has said that India is a great abuser of tariffs. He's threatened India, among the other BRICS countries, if they try to move away from dollar-denominated trade with 100% tariff. This is no way to run a railroad, much less the international economic situation. So as a former Assistant Secretary of Commerce, where we work so hard to bring about economic advantage through trade, this is very disheartening. And coupled with other things which are going on in the United States, the whole retaliation against enemies, the threatening of actual use of arms to get back the Panama Canal. It is a very dire situation and does not bode well for the United States or the world.
Well, thank you so much for that comprehensive insight, Mr. Vickery. We will stay on that story. Meanwhile, over in Canada, fans at a Toronto Raptors game continued an emerging trend Sunday of booing the American national anthem at pro sporting events across the country. Now, fans of the NBA's lone Canadian franchise booed the anthem after similar reactions broke out Saturday night at the NHL games in Ottawa, Ontario, and even Calgary, Alberta, hours after US President Donald Trump made his threat of import tariffs on America's northern neighbor a reality. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has demanded that Panama make quote-unquote immediate changes to what he calls the influence and control of China over the canal. The warning follows President Donald Trump's vow to retake the canal and a meeting between Rubio and Jose Raul Mulino. In fact, he's Panama's conservative president in Panama City on Sunday. Now, on the other hand, Mulino told reporters he did not see a serious threat of US military force to seize the canal, saying he had proposed technical-level talks with the US to address Mr. Trump's concerns about Chinese influence. Now, clearly, the two men appeared to emerge from their 2-hour-long meeting with different interpretations, to say the least. Over in West Asia, the shifting sands of West Asia, rather, Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani on Sunday called on both Israel and Hamas to immediately begin negotiations on phase 2 of the Gaza ceasefire. Speaking at a press conference in Doha alongside Turkey's foreign minister, Sheikh Mohammed stressed that the ceasefire agreement requires both parties to engage and engage without delay.
Engaging with the parties in order to define the agenda and to start engaging in those discussions. There is nothing yet clear about where are the delegations will come and when it's going to take place, but at least over the phone these discussions has started. And we hope that we start to see some movement in the next few days. And I know that it's critical that we get things rolling from now in order to get to an agreement before day 42, and it's critical also to show that there is a commitment from both sides to engage in a good faith.
And there's more movement in West Asia. In fact, Syria's Ahmad al-Shara, alias al-Julani, is in Saudi Arabia, where he met Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman on his first foreign trip since being named president of the transitional government earlier this week. After the meeting, al-Shara said that the meeting with MBS had shown that Saudi Arabia has a genuine desire to, in fact, support Syria in building its future. The Syrian interim president added that his meetings in Riyadh had included plans for cooperation in the fields of energy, technology, education, and even health. A group of 50 sick and wounded Palestinian children began entering Egypt for treatment through Gaza's Rafah crossing on Saturday. Interestingly, the first opening of the border since Israel captured it nearly 9 months ago. Thousands more are to follow. The reopening of the Rafah crossing represents a significant breakthrough that bolsters the ceasefire deal Israel and Hamas reached last month. Israel agreed to reopen the border crossing after Hamas released the last living female hostages in Gaza. Now, interestingly, Rafah is Gaza's only crossing that does not enter into Israel. We'll slip into a short break. I'll see you on the other side.
Big budget day. Big newsmakers on NDTV. Top ministers and opposition leaders.
ये by the people, of the people and for the people budget.
It is a fulfilling budget.
This is a development budget.
It's one of the finest budgets I've ever seen.
More than a bold move, it is a clever move.
NDTV, always the first choice of newsmakers. NDTV keeps you ahead.
From the mind that changed the world, a story untold until now. Discover the secrets, the struggles, the genius. Bill Gates lays it all bare in his new memoir.
What you say would today have been diagnosed as being the autism spectrum.
I still rock a bit, which is kind of characteristic of, they call it self-stimulation. So, I have to catch myself because it can make people nervous if I'm sitting doing that. So no, I don't think it ever goes away. It'd be harder to diagnose now.
Source code. Uncover the man behind Microsoft. This is history. This is Gates, an NDTV exclusive.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital, Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Maha Kumbh, the festival of faith. The world's biggest spiritual festival. The divine dip at the spiritual Sangam. A sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Maha Kumbh 2025.
Kind attention, please.
The future of Delhi isn't decided in speeches. It is decided at the ballot box.
BJP putting all its might to dethrone Aam Aadmi Party-led government in Delhi.
Delhi's decision destination.
Will the Aam Aadmi Party's success saga continue for the fourth time?
Will Congress put up a tough fight and turn the tide this Delhi Assembly elections?
How will the numbers change on the D-Day of Eid?
Delhi Election Metro 2025. Stay tuned to NDTV for Mega Metro poll coverage.
Big budget day. Big newsmakers on NDTV. Top ministers and opposition leaders.
ये by the people, of the people and for the people budget.
It is a fulfilling budget.
This is a development budget.
It's one of the finest budgets I've ever seen.
More than a bold move.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching The World 24/7 on NDTV with me, Arjun Samar Mahindran. As we keep on following geopolitics, there's some good news from the cricket pitch. Indian batter Abhishek Sharma on Sunday slammed his second T20I century during the 5th and final game of the series against England in Mumbai. Now, Abhishek reached the milestone in just 37 balls, missing India's captain Rohit Sharma and David Miller's all-time record by a whisker. Now, Rohit and Miller hold the record for the fastest century among the batters from Test-playing nations. Abhishek looked on the course of surpassing them at one point, but missed out in the end. Take a look at this special report. Meanwhile, India triumphed over South Africa to win the Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup for its second time, in fact. The women in blue put forth a dominant showing, beating their opponents by 9 wickets. The PM has congratulated the Under-19 team, calling the victory a result of teamwork, dedication and grit. Here's a report.
ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup champions for 2025.
India won the Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup for the second time in a row.
And clearly well ahead of their competition. India triumphed.
After clinching the inaugural edition in 2023, unbeaten India defended the title in Kuala Lumpur in a dominating way. South Africa won the toss and decided to bat first, but clinical bowling by Indian youngsters restricted the Proteas to a very low score.
The business area is hit once more.
The South African batters failed to cut through India's spin web and were all out at 82.
Gone. Another one for Trisha.
Despite losing an early wicket, India comfortably chased down the target. Gangadi Trisha's 44 and Sanika Chalke's 26 guided India home in just 11.2 overs. With this consecutive Under-19 T20 World Cup victory, the youngsters sent a loud and clear statement that the next generation of Indian cricket is up and ready for bigger challenges.
So bright, it glows like the end of the ICC
In New Delhi with Abhishek Datta, Rika Roy for NDTV.
And what a future they have.
On to probably the biggest entertainment story of the day and the week. Charlie XCX, Sabrina Carpenter, Kendrick Lamar and Sierra Farrell were among the early winners announced during the premiere sessions like Ricky Cage and Anushka Shankar, alongside newcomers such as Varjashri Venugopal. For more on this, my colleague Abira joins us from Mumbai. Abira, what's the latest?
Okay, so the biggest news is Beyonce has taken an award. Like you already know, she has been nominated for album, 11 nominations. Her album has got, it is a country album called Cowboy Carter, and it has got 11 nominations. She has already won one. So she got the Grammy Award for the best country album and its performance. So India still have chances, but Chandrika has already won a Grammy, and this is her second Grammy.
Thank you so much for that update, Abira. That's it from me. That's it from us for now. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
From the mind that changed the world, a story untold until now. Discover the secrets, the struggles, the genius. Bill Gates lays it all bare in his new memoir.
What you say would today have been diagnosed as being the autism spectrum.
I still rock a bit, which is kind of characteristic of, they call it self-stimulation. So, I have to catch myself because it can make people nervous if I'm sitting doing that. So no, I don't think it ever goes away. It'd be harder to diagnose now.
Source code. Uncover the man behind Microsoft. This is history. This is Gates, an NDTV exclusive.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring
in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Maha Kumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Maha Kumbh 2025.
Kind attention, please.
The future of Delhi isn't decided in speeches. It is decided at the ballot box.
BJP putting all its might to dethrone Aam Aadmi Party-led government in Delhi.
Delhi's decision destination.
Will the Aam Aadmi Party's success saga continue for the fourth time? Will Congress put up a tough fight and turn the tide this Delhi Assembly elections?
How will the numbers change on the D-Day of Eid?
Delhi Election Metro 2025. Stay tuned to NDTV for Mega Metro poll coverage.
Big budget day. Big newsmakers on NDTV. Top ministers and opposition leaders.
ये by the people, of the people and for the people budget.
It is a fulfilling budget.
This is a development budget.
It's one of the finest budgets I've ever seen.
More than a bold move, it is a clever move.
NDTV, always the first choice of newsmakers. NDTV keeps you ahead.
From the mind that changed the world, a story untold until now. Discover the secrets, the struggles, the genius. Bill Gates lays it all bare in his new memoir.
What you say would today have been diagnosed as being the autism spectrum.
I still rock a bit, which is kind of characteristic of, they call it self-stimulation. So, I have to catch myself because it can make people nervous if I'm sitting doing that. So no, I don't think it ever goes away. It'd be harder to diagnose now.
Source code. Uncover the man behind Microsoft. This is history. This is Gates. An NDTV exclusive.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Hello and good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Show. I'm Radhika Ramaswamy joining you from Mumbai. We also have Divya Vadva who's joining us from Delhi. Divya, third Amrit Snan and Maha Kumbh, a big day as focus also on crowd control measures since this is after the tragic stampede incident. Besides that, of course, Delhi poll battle reaches the final stage as big guns to make their last appeal to voters on final day of campaigning.
Well, lots coming up on the breakfast show this morning. Of course, it's the last day of campaigning as far as the Delhi elections is concerned. And like Radhika mentioned, of course, also that a very important day as far as the Maha Kumbh is concerned and the arrangements that are in place in order to ensure no untoward incident takes place. But first, let's get you to the headlines.
third Amrit Snan begins on the occasion of Basant Panchami today at Maha Kumbh. Security and crowd arrangements have been enhanced.
Delhi polls inch closer last day of campaigning for parties ahead of voting on February 5. Aam Aadmi Party and BJP go all out on final leg of campaigning.
Budget session to continue today, and the opposition expected to raise the Maha Kumbh stampede as they claim mismanagement by the government of the state of Uttar Pradesh.
And ISRO's latest mission hits a technical hurdle. 100th rocket mission by ISRO faces technical glitch.
And right after Donald Trump's tariff as far as Canada and Mexico is concerned, the Asian markets have slid and the stocks have slumped. And this is as the dollar soars over the tariffs.
And Beyonce and Taylor Swift go head-to-head for Best Album at Grammy Awards. A three-time Grammy winner, Ricky Cage, bags another nomination. First up, big updates from Maha Kumbh. Divya Akharas have kick-started the third Grand Amrit Snan at ongoing Maha Kumbh Mela in UP's Prayagraj early this morning. Of course, this is the third Amrit Snan of Maha Kumbh 2025, which falls on the occasion of Basant Panchami. But all eyes on the measures, crowd control measures, especially since it comes after the tragic stampede incident, Divya.
The holy bathing ritual, Radhika, of the Basant Panchami holds particular significance in the wake of that stampede that you just mentioned at the Sangam during the precious, and this is that Amrit Snan that people are gathering for, and this after that previous Amrit Snan on Moni Amavasya. Security and crowd management arrangements have now been enhanced this time around. The ritual started with the ash-smeared Naga Sadhus taking the dip at the break of dawn, followed by other devotees. Now, of course, the government officials have said that 16 lakh devotees had taken that holy dip till about 4 o'clock this morning, while the overall figure of those who are expected to take the dip today is going to go up, in number. Of course, so far from what we've seen is 35 crore people, as far as the beginning of the Maha Kumbh till now is concerned, have already taken a holy dip. And we have Ranveer joining us to get us more on this. Ranveer, while Basant Panchami marks the third and the final Amrit Snan date as far as the Maha Kumbh is concerned, but there are two more special snans which will be coming up later this month.
Today obviously is a big day for especially sadhus, because this is Vasant Panchami, the third and final Amrit Snan, and on the occasion of Vasant Panchami, a huge gathering of devotees along with the saints. They are here in Maha Kumbh, and the saints started their journey to Sangam from their camp at around 4 a.m. and around 5 a.m. the sannyasi tradition, sadhus, they taken holy dip at Sangam. I'll show you some visuals of the gathering of devotees who came here from across India, and you can see this is not up to the, if we compare from Moni Amavasya, the crowd is lesser, but today is also a big day. So the saints of Akhadas, they started their journey to Sangam, the joining place of Ganga, Yamuna and mythical Saraswati at around 4 a.m. and they taken the holy dip. The first holy dip was taken by Mahanirvani Akhada, so at around 5 a.m. So all the 13 Akhadas will take dip, and out of 13, around 7 Akhadas have taken holy dip at Sangam. So the last Amrit Snan is the biggest festival for sadhus, and on the occasion of Vasant Panchami, the gathering is obviously massive. So around 4 to 5 crore people will take holy dip at Sangam today amid tight security, because on the occasion of Moni Amavasya, a stampede occurred which killed 30 devotees and several were injured, and out of them some are still being treated in different hospitals in Prayagraj. So the UP government, including Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, who started a monitoring meeting with the top officials at his official residence. He had taken a meeting, and also the top officials of included in Maha Kumbh, they are here, including ADG, Law and Order, and some other officials. They are in Maha Kumbh. So, amid tight security arrangements, the Snan is going on, and the Snan will go for entire day. So, a huge security arrangements, including UP police, paramilitary forces, and other corps. They are here. The drones are being installed for real-time monitoring of the situation, the crowd management. So a lot of security measures have been taken, and also a chopper was sent at before the dawn, so to spread some flower petals on the saints. So a big day, obviously a big day for saints as well as the devotees who came here, and also we have seen so many foreigners who are here to witness this historic moment. So obviously I'll try to show you how the security arrangements have been made and how the people, you see some mounted police, the horse-ridden cops, they are continuously monitoring the situation. The Naga sadhus, they are the biggest attraction. They are here, and obviously the devotees, the different class, different creed can be seen at the ghats of Ganga, Yamuna, and obviously at the Saraswati. So gathering and a huge security arrangement is being the police personnel is being deployed at Sangam Ghat and also in the entire Mela premises, so that the stampede-like situation could be averted. So you can see some foreigners, they are here to witness the historic moment and to see how the crowd can be managed, a crowd of more than 400 million people, how such a big gathering, such a big mela is being organized just to see this, to face it, and also to understand the sentiments, the devotional sentiments of Sanatan is the biggest attraction. So CM Yogi Adityanath in his social media post said that congratulating the devotees on the occasion of Basant Panchami, and Yogi Adityanath on his social media post written that may Maha Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, shower her blessings on everyone, infuse new energy and enthusiasm in everyone's life. This is my prayer to Ma Veena Vadini. So today, on the occasion of Vasant Panchami, Ma Saraswati is being prayed, and on the occasion of this Vasant Panchami, the Amrit Snan is going on with full joy, with full fervor, and a huge crowd is here again on the occasion of this Vasant Panchami.
Right, Ranveer, of course, continuous aerial survey also of the Maha Kumbh venue will be conducted in order to estimate the ground size as well. We will keep coming back to you to know the smooth flow as far as the Amrit Snan is concerned on Basant Panchami. But just switching tracks now to Delhi, and the battle for Delhi has reached its final and most intense phase, as today marks the last day of campaigning for the upcoming elections, Radhika. And this, of course, coming on the heels of Arvind Kejriwal making, major claims of, on Sunday, alleging that one of the campaign vehicles was vandalized by the BJP goons in the presence of the police personnel as far as the New Delhi constituency from where Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal is contesting.
Absolutely. Both the BJP and Aam Aadmi Party making a massive push to sway voters in their favour. BJP pulling out all stops to hold 22 roadshow across the capital, Divya. In fact, Aam Aadmi Party's top leadership is also hitting the streets, making their final appeal. And yes, as you mentioned, a lot of tug of war of words as far as several issues, including Yamuna, is concerned between the BJP and Aam Aadmi Party. Let's go straight across to Ishika on this. Ishika, of course, today is going to be, and besides Ishika, we're also joined by Shreya. First to you, Ishika. Intense day of campaigning today. It is the last day, just ahead of polls. Big rallies and road shows planned. A final appeal by parties to sway voters. Take us through all the road shows and rallies that are expected today. Who are the big leaders who will be making their last appeal in the national capital today?
Well, Radhika, as you rightly mentioned, today is the last day of campaigning for the Delhi election, but certainly the parties here are not going to let it to waste. Because if we are looking at the BJP, well, the BJP is in fact holding 22 road shows today. All the big guns of the BJP will be holding these, road shows across the national capital. 2 road show by the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, 2 road show by the Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant, 3 road shows by Uttarakhand CM as well. Now, not just that, Amit Shah is also in fact today going to hold 3 Jan Sabhas. Now, if we talk about the Aam Aadmi Party, similar scenes are expected from that side as well. We are seeing that Bhagwant Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, is going to hold 4 road shows today in the national capital. And the Aam Aadmi Party Supremo, Arvind Kejriwal, is going to hold 1 Jan Sabha today and 1 road show that will be in Kalkaji.